Hey everybody, it's Tech248 here. Thank you for joining in on the Hellfire Rebuild video series. I'm going to be working on the LEDs and putting and soldering the resistors to them. Some of my supplies are on back order again. I guess a couple of my suppliers are a little getting high demand on their costs and stuff. So, anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and start on these, and then when those supplies get in, I can finish that process. So, I'm gonna tilt the camera down, and while I'm doing that, my display is gonna go upside down. Okay, no biggie. So, let's see, get more table in. So, anyways, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bend the LEDs, not LEDs, the resistors. And since I don't have a bender, I'm going to show you a neat little trick that I've used over the years, and it works out quite well. Just grab an average nickel. Okay, that's a perfect size. Okay, there we go. So just grab a nickel. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your resistor, and you're going to match the edge of the nickel to your resistor. I don't know how well you can see this. I'm working upside down on my viewfinder on my camera. And then you're going to bend the lead around the nickel. Okay? And you're just going to do that. And that's what I do in a pinch. And it does work quite well. So that's what I'm doing there is bending that around, and then I'll solder this part onto the LED, and I'll do that here shortly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few of these. So I'm going to do a few of these, and again, I'm going to I'm getting good enough light. Let's see, let's try that. All right, that should be a little better. So I'll take the lead, I'm going to bend it, and then I'm going to stack the nickel like that, and then I'm going to force down the lead again. So that's how it's gonna. There we go. That's how it's gonna look, and so so that's what I do in a pinch. And it's gonna take a while to do this, so. So there's another way of doing it, and you pick a spot, you bend the lead, and then you flatten it out. If I can keep myself in view. And it's 4 o'clock here at Tech 248 HQ. It is absolutely on time today. I think it's worse than a cuckoo clock. So, my light might be a little too bright. I don't know where my diffuser's at. So, alrighty. So there's the another one. I only got 100 to go. Oh, by the way, folks, if you hear me saying my audio's dropping on one of the channels, I did a playback on some of the video clips, and it is not true. So I guess it's a false malfunction. So that's what we're gonna do. So what I'm gonna do So I'm just going to do a few of these on camera, and then we'll just go from there. So by doing it this, I'm folding it back on itself like this. Is so this, when I put a piece of insulation over this, I'll grab my insulation tube. I'm not going to be using this stuff. I'm going to be using heat shrink tubing. So what I'm going to do, I'll grab a lead out. Grab one that's marked. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, this is an LED here. This is bicolor, which only has red and green on here. So, and if you can see, there's some red here that I've already tested these to figure out which lead is actually red and which one's green. There's not much difference between here and here, just maybe an eighth of an inch or so. But when you're trying to work stuff blindly, it does not give me a good indicator. So what I did is I color coded one side as red, so that way I know that's the firing. That's going to be the side that's going to be the firing one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the resistor in the LED, and I'm going to solder the part it's bent back on the lead like so. Yeah. And trying to do two things at once. Watch what I'm doing on the. So I'll solder it like that. And then what I'll do after I'm done soldering is I'll take some heat shrink tubing, not this material. Okay. I'll take some heat shrink tubing, and I'll slide the shrink tubing on like this. So that way that's insulated. And what that's going to do is the lead is going to be the backing of the resistor. So it's going to support the resistor. And then I'll put another wire on here, which would be the common. That will go onto the out to the button on the button side that goes out to the connector, which goes out down to the rail and slat. And then this side, since it's got red ink on it, will be to the firing side, and then this side here will go over to the green side, which is the loading side. And so that's pretty much the nutshell of that. I'm just going to go ahead and get these loaded, bent. So I may do this in time lapse and go from there, and then I'll do the second portion of it and that. So I'm going to watch my time because obviously YouTube has a time limit, so I didn't know that. So I remember they used to only have 16 minutes at a time, so you had to do like a ton of micro videos to get that going. So so I purchased about 100 kilo ohm quarter watt resistors, 5% tolerance. So I don't know if this will work or not, but it may drive the camera nuts. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know how good that's going to show up on the camera, but yeah. So it's brown, black, red, then gold, which is 5% tolerance. So that's the color codes for 1 kilo ohm resistor. So brown is 1, black is 10, black is 0, and then red is 2 zeros, because it's the last color code of the resistor. Now you heard me say gold. Well, that gold, silver are the tolerance. So silver is 10% tolerance, and then gold is 5% tolerance. So that means that's how far the resistor drifts a little bit. So, and if you see a fourth color code on there, and it's usually brown, it's 1% tolerance. So I'm just going to grab a few of these out. So, yeah, just dump a bunch of them out. Just make sure I got 100. At the end of the deal. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into time lapse. So I'm going to go mic silent, and I'll see you on the end of the time lapse when I start doing the LED portion. So see you after time lapse. I just want to give you a heads up. Resi- some people think resistors are one direction only. No, they're both directions. There's no polarity sensitive. Where LEDs, yeah, they're polarity. So the myth about resistors have to be one direction, that's not true. And I put resistors in either direction, but yeah, I prefer to have them in one direction. It just makes it look nicer. But no one's gonna see it, so who cares? There are some companies that have very tight tolerance about which way the resistor is landed, and I agree with it. It just makes it look nicer, and like if there's like troubleshooting, it makes it easier to read when the resistors are all the same direction. So I just want to give you a heads up on that and that. And again, I'm using a nickel to bend these leads. So back to time lapse. Okay, all right, we're done with that. All right, so I don't have to do anything with the LEDs. Other than I'm just gonna have to get my iron hot here, so I gotta plug that in real quick and start on that. So, so let me get that plugged in here. Alrighty, I definitely gonna have to get a different rig. This guy likes to tumble. Alright, so. Someone says you're not going to do it that way. Actually, no, I'm not. Um, grab one that has a red so I can reference. Okay. Okay, this side's green. Okay. It doesn't really matter which side. It just makes it that much easier to figure out which way is which. But I'll retest the LEDs when I start putting the wire on and stuff like that. That way I make sure I've got the proper polarity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the handy holder here and I'm just going to use the alligator clip. And there's two reasons why I'm doing that, and one of them is a heat sink, so I don't melt into the wire, the filaments inside the LED. So, all right, so get my iron a quick 10. And then again, I'm just gonna do. Just gonna pinch nerve in my arm again. All right. Okay. And then I'm gonna tint the LED. Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa! How bad is that? Okay, that's just a nick. Okay. Whew. Iron got near my got near the cable that links my soundboard to the camera. Okay. Ooh, that's warm. Let's see. Kind of cramped up in here today. Okay. Let's see if I can smooth that out real quick. There we go. All right, the fun part. All right. Gotta get my other device on. Alright, I gotta do a quick switcheroo. Put my headsets down here. Okay. Yeah, check that out. Ooh, that's warm. Okay. Not the world's best job. But, alright. So that's how that's going to work. And then, again, then what I'll do. Yeah. So what I'll do, would help if I get this in view, the camera, is I'll turn around. This is gonna be interesting. So we'll pretend this is a heat shrink tubing, and then I'll slide over like that, and then I'll solder wire on this end of the resistor here, and then I'll put another piece of shrink tubing on here, and then solder wire on each side of the leads here. Okay, and then shrink tube that, and then this should be a whole unit here. So, so that's the whole idea of this. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back, and then we'll go into some time lapse for and some time lapse. So, see you after my break here. Catch you on the other side. Okay, everybody, I'm just gonna do a couple adjustments on my headphones. All right, so that's one down, and I'll put that under box. I'm gonna try to keep one of these as my reference. Let's grab a few. Okay, this one's got red on it too, so but that's okay. I think I tested a bunch of these just to make sure. So, alrighty. Alright, so we gotta do some tinning. Okay. Whew, hot. See if I can. No, that's not gonna reach. Where's my gun? This is there. That'll give me a little bit more. Alright, I'm cheating. I'm grabbing needle noses. Alright, how's the angle on this? Okay. I so need to get a piece of board underneath this so it doesn't flop around so much. Yeah. I'm sucking at this. There we go. Alright. That makes number 2. Oh, that's not a good joint. That broke. That totally broke. Holy smokes. Alright, this one's being up. Okay. Oh, flipping transistors. Alright, I'm going to do it the way I did it last time. Burn the fingers. Oh, good grief. Alright, everybody, I'm going to go in a time lapse and we'll keep doing a few of these and see you on the other side. Fade out. Okay, I might have found a little easier way to do that. So I'm going to take half the bend out of the resistor, and then I'm going to mount it that way. It'll give me more room to work with on my fingers instead of so, right on top of that's how much room I have to keep my fingers from not getting burned. So I'm going to try something new. Yeah, so for now. All right. See you on the other side. Time lapse. Okay, so all right. Let's see how many I've done within 20 minutes or so. Get everything out of the pouch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I got like 17 done in 20 minutes. All right. I'm going to take a little break, and I'll see you back on the other side. I got to get my fingers cooled down. They got a little toasty. So, all right. See you after my break. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I take a little break and get some food ready for tonight's din din. And we're having chops. Smoke chops. Yum, 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 yum. Anyways, okay, sorry, made you hungry. All right, so I'm gonna try this rig again, and I need to switch to my visor so I can see better. All right, headphone adjustment. All right, sorry about mic checking the eardrums. If you got headphones, sorry about that. I had to put my visors back on because my glasses, they do okay, but when I'm doing this type of work, they suck. And okay, all right, I'm gonna see how long it takes me to do 10 of these, and I just lost another resistor. All right, there's 2 resistors on the floor. Alrighty, so here we go. Alright, so I'm going to go to time lapse. So I'll let you know how many I do per minute. See you on the other side.